Today, we are going to talk about one of the most misunderstood emotions out there, especially when it comes to young people: anger. We're going to challenge that old school advice that tells us to just stuff it down. And instead, we're going to explore a pretty radical idea. What if anger isn't a problem we need to solve, but actually a source of fuel, just waiting to be ignited? Let's get into how to channel that fire. And really, this one idea from the Equal Chance Boxing Foundation, it's the heart of everything we're talking about today. It totally reframes how we look at a kid who's lashing out. It's not about some flaw in their character. It's about untapped potential. All right, so to really get this new way of thinking, we first have to break down why our usual methods are, well, failing so badly. I mean, just think about it. When a teenager gets angry, what's our first instinct? It's to shut it down, right? We see it as bad behavior, a lack of control, something that needs to be punished or just pushed away. But that whole point of view completely misses what's actually happening biologically. And this right here, this is where it all falls apart. On one hand, you have our words, commands telling them to be still, be quiet. But on the other hand, you've got this biological freight train. Our words are literally fighting against a powerful, primal response that has already taken over their entire body. You see, the key thing to get is that anger isn't just a feeling. It's a full-on, body-wide physiological event. The brain slams the alarm bell, and it floods their system with adrenaline and cortisol. Their body isn't getting ready to sit down and have a nice chat. It's gearing up for an explosion of physical action. This is honestly the perfect metaphor. The engine is roaring, the fuel is pumping, and we're just standing there yelling at it to be quiet. It's not just ineffective, it actually forces all that energy to turn inward, where it can become even more destructive. So, if trying to suppress it is a total failure, what's the alternative? Well, the answer starts by changing our whole definition of anger itself. So here's the crucial part. Anger is rarely the real issue. It's armor. It's the face we show the world when deep down we feel powerless or scared or just completely frustrated. It's a defense mechanism, a shield that's protecting something way more vulnerable underneath. And this is where we flip the script. Instead of seeing a problem that needs to be put out, we see power that needs to be harnessed. That intense energy that makes someone want to punch a wall, with the right guidance, that same energy could be channeled into something constructive and, yeah, really powerful. Okay, so that sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you channel that energy? Well, this is where the science of boxing comes in, and it's brilliant because it works with the body's biology, not against it. I mean, think about it. The heavy bag doesn't argue, it doesn't judge, it just absorbs. For a body that's flooded with adrenaline, that first punch gives this immediate, satisfying release. It finally gives that fight-or-flight response what it's been screaming for: physical action. But here's the thing. It's not just about hitting something. True power isn't about wildly flailing your arms. It's a super precise biomechanical sequence. The sheer amount of mental focus it takes to connect your foot, your hip, your shoulder, and your fist in one single explosive moment, it completely hijacks the brain's emotional centers. I just love this blowtorch metaphor. It perfectly captures the whole process. You take this scattered, chaotic fire of raw anger and you apply the structure of technique. It doesn't put the fire out, it focuses it into something incredibly powerful and precise. And that physical release, that's just the beginning. The real magic, the deep stuff, happens in the minutes, hours, and weeks that follow. It leads to a profound psychological shift. So what's actually happening chemically? Well, the workout literally burns off those stress hormones, the cortisol and adrenaline. And in their place, the brain gets a huge flood of endorphins and dopamine, the natural good mood chemicals. That feeling of agitation is replaced by this peaceful exhaustion and, for the first time in a while, maybe a clear mind. For a teen who lives in a constant state of defense, that feeling of calm is absolutely revolutionary. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Does hitting a bag in the gym actually stop you from hitting someone in the school hallway? The answer is a huge yes, and it all comes down to rewiring the brain. See, in boxing, an impulsive, wild swing gets you knocked out. You have to learn to absorb a hit, feel that flash of anger, but wait. You learn to control that impulse and choose the exact right moment to respond. This practice of thinking under fire builds a neurological off switch that translates directly to life outside the ring. But maybe the most profound impact of all is on a young person's sense of self. It becomes about way more than just managing an emotion. It's about building a whole new identity. If a kid is constantly told they're a problem, eventually they're going to start to believe it. But this approach just flips the script. All of a sudden, their intensity is valuable. The very thing that used to get them sent to the principal's office is now seen as the raw material for a champion. I mean, just imagine hearing this instead of another calm down. This one sentence from a coach validates their energy, it dismantles their defensiveness, and it replaces all that judgment with respect. Suddenly, they're not a problem child anymore. They are an athlete in training. And look, this isn't just a nice theory on paper. The impact is very real. The Equal Chance Boxing Foundation has already trained over 500 young people using this exact philosophy. But what's even more incredible is this number, a 95% completion rate. That tells you that this method doesn't just work, it resonates deeply. These kids aren't just being forced to show up. They're staying, they're committed, and they are transforming. So, I'll just leave you with this one final thought. A forge, it's a place where raw, unrefined material is heated up, hammered, and shaped into something strong, useful, and precise. Maybe that's the real purpose of all that teenage anger. Not something to be put out, but something to be shaped.